Hey family and friends, today is the 12th of May. It is unseasonably cold and ungeographically cold. And today, Timor-Leste will again test the stability of its young democracy through the process of a national election. We wanted to take this opportunity to explain a little bit about how Timor's government is set up, why these particular elections are being held, and what campaign season looks like here in Timor.
First, a small disclaimer. So this video is supposed to be informational and educational only and is not in any way an endorsement of any political party.
So, the legislative branch of Timor's government is a unicameral parliament, meaning it has just one chamber. This chamber is made up of 65 seats, which can be filled by any number of 16 different parties. We'll run the names of the parties across the bottom of the screen. Realistically though, only a handful of parties ever actually win seats, and they win them for a 5-year term. So if you do the math, independence was in 2002, had elections in 2007, again in 2012, again in 2017. You'd be correct in wondering why now in 2018 they have elections.
Yeah.
That would be because it is a re-election. Actually, technically, it's being called an early election. We'll explain a little bit about what happened with the 2017 elections later in the video, but first we should say a few words about how those 65 seats are filled to begin with.
So it's all about the political parties. The people's names who will eventually make up parliament are not even on the ballot. Instead, they're embedded within the political party's lists, a ranked list. For example, Fretilin, one of the political parties, will have a ranked list of 65 names on it, just in case they win 100% of the votes. And for whatever percent they actually win, a proportion of those names from the list will become members of parliament. In 2017, Fretilin won 35% of the vote. So 35% of those 65 seats, which is 23 seats, went to the Fretilin party, and that means that 23 people from that Fretilin list became statesmen.
And stateswomen. One thing that we touched on in the last video is that every third name in those lists has to be that of a woman. This has led to the highest proportion of female representation in all of Asia, and actually one of the highest in the world.
Okay, so back to what happened in 2017. A total of 5 parties won the seats in parliament. Fretilin won most of the seats, but not the majority, with 23 seats. CNRT won a total of 22 seats, and the rest were rounded out with PLP with 8 seats, PD with 7 seats, and Junto with 5 seats. The party with the most seats, this time being Fretilin, forms a government and is then responsible for submitting a budget and a full program for the entire 5-year term. This all happened as usual, but unfortunately nothing was ever passed because of the coalitions that were formed between political parties.
So after those results, Fretilin and PD joined together to make up a total of 30 votes, 30 seats, but the alliance of CNRT, PLP, and Junto all managed to work out their own differences to present a unified opposition of 35 combined seats. After multiple attempts to pass legislation without any success, President Luolo, who was also Fretilin, called for these early elections and dissolved the current parliament. So here we are, 10 months after the scheduled elections from 2017, ready to start over and hope to avoid another stalemate.
No one knows exactly how these elections will turn out. The 3 parties of CNRT, PLP, and Junto, which previously held a combined 35 seats, have solidified their coalition by joining together to run as one single party, known as IMP or AMP.
So if this new party of AMP, the CNRT, PLP, and Junto all put together, wins a majority, President Luolo will have to nominate someone from AMP to be the new Prime Minister, someone from AMP to be the new Speaker of Parliament, and AMP will become the party responsible for submitting a budget and that program for the full 5-year term. So as you can see, there's potentially a big shift in which party has the most power within the government. But at least for now, and in our little village, everyone seems completely committed to very fervent support of their party, but equally committed to peacefully accepting whatever results may come.
Speaking of fervent support, that's a pretty good segue into talking about the campaign season. Everything during this 1-month official campaign season is political, which is not unlike an election year in the United States. The news is all about the parties and their leaders. Every home has their political party banner hung from somewhere. All of the kids are chanting and singing the political party songs. The motorbikes are all plastered with stickers of their political party. All the teenagers are wearing bandanas with political party colors on them, and the mikrolets are all blaring the political party's songs. Whenever there's a campaign rally that's going on nearby, people go outside donning completely what looks like sporting gear for their political party. So that includes t-shirts, hats, visors, and even their political party's flag tied around their necks. Either they will go outside wearing all that, or they just don't go outside at all. Campaign rallies look a lot like sporting events with crazed fans. They feature dozens of large trucks packed with supporters and scores of motorbikes escorting them to wherever they're going.
Much like in the States, this season also affects everyday conversations. Most water cooler talk is about politics, and now even more than usual, you're really likely to see just groups of men sitting around chatting. Of course, as Peace Corps volunteers, we try to disengage from these conversations, but because we work at such grassroots levels, it's really hard for this period to not permeate through many parts of our service. Though it can be frustrating and stress-inducing at times, we're enjoying the opportunity to see this young country still in the process of forming its identity. This is the second election cycle we've been able to witness, and it's been quite an experience. Elections are today. The results will be announced in about 3 weeks, and until then, we'll wait and we'll watch.